What? Wait, I don't think they're ready for this.
These moves looking real nice in the future. These moves looking real nice in the future. These moves looking real nice in the future. Pull up on them and it look nice, look nice.
These moves looking real nice in the future. These moves looking real nice in the future. These moves looking real nice in the future. Pull up on them and it look nice, nice.
Yeah, we look nice, future looking nice, we don't need to tell them
Here
twice.
comes the future.
Yeah, we look nice, future looking real nice, we don't need to tell them twice.
Here comes the future.
A warm welcome to Combank Stadium in Parramatta in Sydney's West. And so it continues. This 10-year tale of tension, taunting, triumphs, traumas and tribalism. Del Piero's winner, Santalab's strike to end the Invincibles' dream. Ognenovski's anger, that challenge on Ali Abbas and that 61,000 crowd. All packed into a decade, indelibly inked into our collective consciousness. So whilst the teams line up, let's check the two lineups. It's a new look Western Sydney Wanderers as Carl Robinson hands debuts to 7 players. They are skipper Rhys Williams, Spanish goalkeeper Thomas Mekias, Johnny Katrumbis, Adama Traore, Dimi Petratos, Rami Najri, Toma Hemed and Terry Antonis, who begins his second stint with the club. Ziga Gordon has been ruled out with a stomach bug. Bernie Abini, Antonis and Petratos all up against their former club. And they are coached, as I said, by Carl Robinson. A few surprises for Sydney. No Bobo or Costa Barbarouses, both apparently suffering slight knocks. So maybe a formation change with Adam Lafondra as the lone striker. Trent Mahaja and debutant Elvis Kamsova will provide the pace on the flanks. Luke Bratton is banned after his red card in the grand final. So Retre and Caceres play in tandem at the base of the midfield. And they are coached, of course, by Steve Corica. To the Sydney FC defence, and we are off for the Sydney Derby, the 28th version, the 29th in all competitions. A raucous Combank Stadium. Are we going to get a classic Andy Harper?
Yeah, g'day Simon, welcome to everybody for the new season. And we could do a lot worse than a raucous start. It was a good game last night in Melbourne to actually get proceedings underway with no small measure of controversy. Those sorts of things always fuel the chatter and the anticipation. That leads us to Derby Day here in Parramatta.
Sydney FC gets a first refereeing decision. Sydney. Caceres. Bit of room inside the centre circle, and Ryan Grant doesn't need a second invitation to get forward. He has Kamsova in attendance. He's just trying to help it on further towards Bahaja.
Just in screen on the left-hand side, and Elvis doing that role on the right-hand side. It's likely going to pit him against Adama Traore, his former teammate from Melbourne Victory. And having that sort of familiarity can often help a player.
Now Tony's trying to utilise the pace of Bernie Abini. It nearly paid off. And just on that Sydney formation, we did wonder whether they might switch to just the solitary striker, but Trent Bahaja very definitely lining up alongside Lafondra in their traditional 4-4-2. Here's Joel King. It does allow the fullbacks to get forward. It's a useful ball as well by Joel King, and Bahaja was sliding in. Sydney FC wanted a corner, but offside is the verdict.
Yeah.
Again, Sydney FC break things up in midfield. They've settled it quicker. Bahaja's touch. It's Ninkovic, angle opening up, it's Milos Ninkovic, and he didn't really get hold of it. Good chance though.
Really good chance, Simon, and it's the thing about Milos, he's been just brilliant since he's come to the league, but he really doesn't like shooting from distance.
Traore went early, taken new strike by Hemed. Abini had to check. Tees up Petratos, who was crowded out by 3 Sydney players. Antonis is after it. And Bahaja arrived just a fraction late.
Well, already Simon, Toma Hemed is looking class. Beautiful movement, the efficiency of touch and the awareness of the touch to open up the field for supporting players. And Antonis will really enjoy linking up with that type of player. He won't enjoy those tackles from Trent Bahaja too much.
Bahaja, who's had his injury concerns, of course, but getting his chance on the big stage tonight. Will the concession of this free kick prove costly? Dimi Petratos fancies it. Rami Najarine wraps his boot around it instead, and there was a touch of confusion between Redmayne and Warland. Goalkeeper got the punch away. This is Ugarkovic with time. And measured into the path of Dimi Petratos, and Redmayne was brave to deny Socceroo. Ben Warland is still struggling after that collision with his own goalkeeper. But a chance there for the Wanderers, denied by some pretty courageous goalkeeping.
Well, let's check out the Harvey Norman replay on this first really impressive attack from the Wanderers. They've been under a fair bit of pressure, but they get repeated efforts at the Sydney penalty area, and it was really brave from Redmayne. Superb header down from Reece Williams.
Has produced a corner for the Wanderers, which Petratos takes. Reece Williams was after it. Wanderers started to find their feet, and their fans started to find their voices. Clipped into the box by Traore, helped on by Ibini. Here's Petratos, and it's charged down by Warland. Does his defensive duty.
He does cover a lot of ground for a player who's one of the great playmakers that the domestic competition has seen.
Warland, Lafondra. That's going to be a corner of Aquilina.
Nice open play to start this derby. 15 minutes in, both teams have had some good sights at their opponent's goal. It's been a long off-season, and the pleasing sign, Simon, is that there's not a lot of sign of early season rust.
In front of the red and black block, Sydney FC with a corner, which Paolo Retre will deliver. Adam Lafondra just going shoulder to shoulder with the beanie. Wasn't the greatest of deliveries from Retre, in all honesty.
There we repeat a much-used phrase. It's Milos Ninkovic who's just controlling the show for Sydney to their advantage, obviously.
Slid it through beautifully for Retre. This is King, and Aquilina gets his body in the way.
Good recovery. Amongst everything else about Thomas Aquilina, he is a belting athlete. Incredible capacity, aerobic capacity.
Joel King to leave the corner for Paolo Retre. Ben Warland is just ambling towards the back post, being marshalled by Johnny Katrumbis. Red and black block doing their best to put the Sky Blues off. Short it goes for Caceres, and back post is Warland. And he was off balance and ultimately off target.
Katrumbis complaining that he was pushed out of the way from Warland. Referee Alex King says makes no difference. A free kick or a goal kick, virtually the same place. Caceres has been bright to start the new season. There's the hands in the back on Katrumbis. The immediate appeal from the Wanderers defenders.
Toma Hemed, heavy collision, it breaks for Ibini, and at the near post it almost embarrassed Andrew Redmayne, and Sydney are irritated that they didn't get the whistle there from Alex King. They felt it was a foul by Toma Hemed. Instead it's going to be a Wanderers corner.
Petratos just hooking the ball in. He's entitled to go for the ball there. Alex Wilkinson's slightly off balance to start with, but that's not Toma Hemed's concern.
Yep, I agree. No foul for me either. Corner work short for Traore, who hangs it up towards that back post, and Redmayne opts to punch. Mindful of the presence of Hemed. Gets the return off Cam Sober. Ninkovic available as he normally is. King pushing forward on the left. They go down the right for Cam Sober. Two in the box to pick out if they can. Bahaja is one. Good save by Mahias. And then volleyed over the top by Adam Lafondra. And the verdict is a goal kick. And again, there are protests.
Well, it's just a beautiful move from Sydney. A really beautiful move. Caceres set the whole thing up with his composure. Fed the ball to Ninkovic, who opened up the centre of midfield. It's a good header from Bahaja off the cross from Kamsoba, and then flying acrobatically is Adam Lafondra. The Harvey Norming replay looking brilliant, resplendent, as Mahias makes his first contribution as an A-League men's player in the Wanderers goal.
Here's Warland. Oh, a little bit too clever by Nikovic, and Ugarkovic says, I'll have that. It's Dimi Petratos. The angle was narrow, and it might have been going wide in any case, but Redmayne had to be sure, and it'll be a Wanderers corner.
Well, that's the danger of Dimi, because it was an improbable angle. There was a couple of sets of legs to get through as well, and he looked like he was a little off balance. Ninkovic was read by Ugarkovic, who bursts forward, feeds Petratos. The touch is taking him wide, but the shot ends up being a good one.
Into the box by Petratos, and Bini flung himself at the ball, thrashed back in by Traore. Anywhere will do for Sydney. I think it was completely accidental in fairness, but it doesn't make any difference to the pain level. And that is half-time of a typically robust Sydney derby. Not too many chances. A couple of good saves by Andrew Redmayne, both from Dimi Petratos at the other end. Thomas Mahias having to be agile to deny Trent Bahagia at a derby that has been high on energy, but a slow burner in terms of clear-cut opportunities. And at the interval at Combank Stadium, they are as they started. It's the Western Sydney Wanderers 0, Sydney FC 0. Tonight, as Alex King just signals to Andrew Redmayne to remove some toilet paper from the pitch that's been thrown by the crowd. And the Wanderers get us back underway. Kicking from right to left in this second half. Do you expect the game to open up as legs tire with that long off-season, Andy Harper?
As much as the players pound the pavement in the off-season in preparation, it's quite the same as playing competitive matches, and this has been a very, very competitive first half, so maybe some legs will start to get a bit weary.
It's a little bit loose from Katrumbis, but Kamsoba wasn't able to make anything of it. Start of a busy week for Sydney FC in particular. First of 3 Sydney derbies. They've got Sydney Olympic in the FFA Cup during the week. You'll see that on 10 Play. And then they face Macarthur next weekend. Now Nazarene, predominantly left-footed of course, but operating on the right. Williams sidesteps Kamsoba with it. He's going to have a go here, Rhys Williams. Well, why not? First shot in anger of the second half goes the way of the Wanderers. Petratos, Antonis works it out for Nazarene. They're attacking the red and black block end of the ground in this second half, the Wanderers. Similarly, Sydney at the other end. Oh, Lafondra has been caught late there by Williams. Play will continue for the moment, but Alex King might go back and caution Rhys Williams for that. He was very late on Lafondra. Steve Corica can't quite believe it yet. The yellow card is shown to the Wanderers skipper. He did not miss Adam Lafondra.
Handy ball over the top from Lafondra too. Chest control, and he knew it was on. Williams is committed, completely compromised himself. You saw the referee wave for the advantage. And Bahagia was away over the top. It's a heavy, heavy challenge from Rhys Williams. Picks up his first yellow card of the season. A very good start to the second half from Sydney. Really controlling the field and possession.
Here's Elvis Kamsoba looking to hit it, and Williams was in the way yet again.
He's picking up a lot of possession, Elvis Kamsoba. It's really dangerous for the Wanderers because his ability to break the line.
Bahagia's ball back. Caceres, Kamsoba in that pocket again. Katrumbis stuck out a long leg, given away by Antonis. And Lafondra, what a save by Macca. Had to react oh so quickly to deny Adam Lafondra the opening goal.
They're turning the screws. The Sky Blues finding it difficult to get out of their territory. Western Sydney, they're heavy on the touch, not light-footed enough. And the swarming defence resulted in Lafondra getting that shot on the turn.
Here's the corner. And wide it goes off Lafondra. But the warning signs are there.
Well, Caceres and Kamsova doing brilliantly to win the ball. First time instinctive shot from Lafondra. Great work from Mahias. Two very good saves now.
Everybody bar Bahaja behind the ball for Sydney. Traore creating the angle for the cross. And it was Caceres who got the touch, and he'll drop here for Petratos. Well, he struck it sweetly enough, but no direction to beat Redmayne. You fancy either side, and the goalkeeper might have been in trouble.
Yeah, not a test for Andrew Redmayne at all, but better from the Wanderers. Competitive on those aerial exchanges, the edge of the Sydney penalty area, and the rebound. The ball out now to Petratos, who leans back and strikes the ball sweetly, but it's straight down the throat of keeper Redmayne.
Twisting this way and that, but Grant just holding his ground. That was a good toe-in by Hemet to win the ball back for the Wanderers. Antonis. Could this be the moment for the red and black? Aquilina. Najarine. Aquilina to cross. Abini! Just a metre or so over the top of the crossbar, but better from Carl Robinson's team.
Yeah, better from Bernie Abini. It ended up coming to him a little quicker than he might have anticipated. Just couldn't quite get the approach to the ball that he wanted. Aquilina floats it in dangerously, and Bernie Abini gets a good effort on the ball in the end. Dama Traore down now, needing attention.
Kamsova up against Traore. That's a really good touch by Kamsova, and he was dragged back there by Traore. That's going to be another card for Adama Traore. And perhaps tellingly, it's the two players who've had to have medical treatment that have ended up in the book.
Well, this is benchmark Kamsova.
Traore guarding the near post just in case. Could be a key moment in the derby. Caceres drives it with pace. Well, maybe that wasn't the right option. For all that, the Wanderers have arguably created more of the opportunities second half. Had a Beanie header over the top. Rhys Williams' long-range effort. Here is Petratos to drive it across the face, and Walden missed it, and Redmayne didn't come for it. Sydney come away with the ball, and the Wanderers are stretched here. It's Patrick Woods on the move for Sydney FC. Has he dallied too long? Rhys Williams showing all his experience in ushering him to the byline, and he believes it should be a goal kick. Referee King disagrees. It's a corner.
Yeah, just not definitive enough.
Looks pretty languid, but he's a heck of a player. Here's Caceres with the corner. Kamsova flung himself at it. Burgess! Goodness me, what an introduction that would have been. Right off the bench, Max Burgess, and he struck that beautifully.
Well, the much talked about Max Burgess returns to his hometown club, and nearly with his first touch as a Sydney player in a number of years, separates the two teams on Derby Day.
It worked out all right for Toma Hemed. Now Rodwell. Jack Rodwell's going to have a go here. Not a bad try! And Andrew Redmayne pulls off a spectacular save to deny the England international a goal on debut for the Wanderers. Well, that would have been a story.
Well, it was a more than decent hit. Sizing it up from distance, and it was flying, really flying. And Redmayne carrying the ball over the bar to safety for Sydney.
And It's brought the red and black block back to life. The Wanderers have a corner. Underneath it was Lafondra, and then Williamston on it back. Chance here for Rodwell again, and he opted to take a touch. Probably should have gone first time. Might well have scored. Kept sober, gets away from Ugarkovic. Across from King, across the face, and Lafondra threw himself at it. Could not make the contact.
That's his hardest chance of the night, Lafondra, but from Steve Corica's viewpoint, his top goal-scoring striker has just been a little out of touch at key moments. Not that last one, that was really difficult, but there's been 2 or 3 other times in front of goal where he's not been at his best, and that's what's kept the game in the balance. Second best for large parts, but they've just shown just how dangerous they remain with a couple of these substitutions, and the fact that Sydney have kept them in the game with their own wastefulness.
Nazarene has somehow wriggled through there. Oh, and then he thought, I think Ogawa was on the right. Hemed does get there, and he crosses and loops it over the top of Redmayne. And Sydney breathe a sigh of relief as it drops onto the roof of the net. And he's pitched the ball back here from Traore's errant pass. Retre getting towards last chance saloon type areas in Parramatta. Caceres, Van der Sar, Grant, back through Wilkinson. The ball by Rattray. Burgess looking to attack Rodwell. Moves it out towards King. Angle towards Patrick Wood, top of the box. They were building that nicely, Sydney FC, before Ugarkovic said enough of that. 40 seconds remaining. Joel King still had the energy to try and burst down the left, but he needed a better ball from Rattray.
But it's a game that's been worthy of a goal. I think both teams have had some great output. Sydney have edged it, in my view, but the Wanderers have always had that dangerous edge on them. And they've set the foundation for the season. A couple of players perhaps didn't name up for them. Substitutes have made a big difference. And at least one set of fans has deserved to cheer about something tonight, if not both.
And Alex King calls time. A keenly contested derby, as ever it was. But it ends all square. The 9th time in 28 meetings they cannot be separated. The first since January 2017. Rhys Williams was outstanding defensively. Thomas Macias made one excellent save to deny Adam Lafondra in the second half, and one from Bahagia in the first. At the other end, Andrew Redmayne was equally good in keeping out that long-range effort from Jack Rodwell, who might have made himself a hero off the bench. But in the end, they have to settle for a point, and at least the 2 former playing teammates, the 2 coaches, Corica and Robinson, can resume their friendship on equal terms this week. Over 23,000 kept enthralled for 90+ minutes. It was a really good contest, but unfortunately at the end of it we had no goals. Western Sydney Wanderers 0, Sydney FC 0.